I wake not only with my body, but with my soul, which yearns to serve. Work is not a burden, nor a punishment, but an echo of the breath with which you made me. My God, creator of skillful hands, and hearts ready to build. Sweat is not a curse, as some believe, as they tell, with voices weary of so much error, but a blessing that springs from the soil, like wheat that grows from the furrow, like the song that rises from the breast. To work is to pray with your hands. It is to touch the world with your desire. For you, Lord, first worked. You formed the clay, you molded the breath. You made the heavens with your own hands. And with your breath you made man into an image. You didn't rest out of tiredness, but out of love, to show us that work has a holy rhythm. Create, love, rest, create again. And so, I enter my day, like one who enters a chapel, where each tool is a chalice, each task, an offering. The hammer that strikes the metal sings your name in every spark. The pen that traces thoughts weaves your wisdom on paper. Sowing, healing, teaching. Everything is liturgy when it is done for you. It doesn't matter if I am a bricklayer or a teacher, if I care for the elderly or if I take care of children, if I work in offices or in the fields, if I am invisible or if I am famous. What matters is that each act is a heartbeat of your will, because you don't look at the position, but at the heart with which you work. I have seen hands chapped by the cold, hands that carry the weight of the world, and in them I have seen your face, because in every effort there reflects you, the worker who climbs the ladder, the doctor who keeps watch at night, the farmer who irrigates the land. All are priests without a robe, because the priesthood is not only on altars of stone and gold, it is in the workshop, in the kitchen, on the bus, in school, in the call center, in the laboratory, in the heart of those who do not give up. Every honest job is an altar, where time is offered like incense. My God, you who worked in Nazareth, you who were a carpenter, son of a carpenter, you know the weight of the saw on the wood. You know the smell of sawdust and sweat. You did not look from afar. You soiled your hands. You knew the weariness of the body. And that is why you sanctified human labor. It was no accident that you were born in a manger, among animals and straw, nor that you grew up in a humble home, where bread was earned with effort. It was a clear, eternal message. The kingdom is not only in heaven, it is in every day accomplished, in every duty performed with love. Therefore, as I begin my day, I ask not only for strength to finish, but for grace to do so with you. May every call I answer, every report I write, every step I take in the hospital, every class I teach, be an act of love, a drop in the ocean of your work. I don't seek recognition, or promotion, or easy applause. I seek that my work glorify you, even if no one notices, even if the world ignores it. For you, Lord, see into the hidden, and you know when a heart works for love, not for glory. I have known those who work as if they were machines, without a soul, without dreams, without hope, driven by fear or need. And I have wept for them, because work should not enslave. It should liberate, it should dignify. You did not create man for work, but work for man. When the system oppresses, when wages aren't enough, when the body breaks, and the soul fades, you, God of justice, hear the groan of the worker. You are not on the side of power. You are on the side of the suffering. That's why, in my work, I want to be a sign of your kingdom. I treat my colleagues with respect. I share what I have. I defend the weak. And reject lies, abuse, and corruption. Because working with integrity is building your city. It's not easy, I know. There are days when the body weakens. The soul becomes clouded. And meaning is lost. Days when the boss yells. The client demands without looking. The salary doesn't cover the month. So, Lord, I come to you. Like a faithful servant who arrives weary. And I say to you, here I am. Even if I don't understand, here I am. Even if they don't see me, here I am. Because you see me. And in those moments, when I have no more strength, you sustain me with your spirit. You remind me that I don't work alone. That you are in every task. That every nail I place, every word I write, every patient I heal, is part of your greater plan. Because nothing is small in your kingdom. Not the button the seamstress sews. Not the screw the mechanic tightens. Not the greeting of the night watchman. Everything has value when it's done for you. You don't waste a single moment. Of those who seek you out at work, I've often thought, why do I work? For money? Yes, but not only. Out of obligation? Maybe at first. But now I know, I work. Because it's my way of loving. My way of responding to your call. You gave me talents. You gave me time. You gave me a place in this world. And working is using those gifts to bless others. The bread I bake nourishes bodies and souls. The house I build gives shelter to families. The teaching I give illumines minds and hearts. None of this is trivial. All of this is mission. Therefore, I don't want to run away from work, nor see it as a necessary evil. I want to embrace it as a sacrament, as a mystery where you reveal yourself. As in the Eucharist, where the bread and wine are transformed. So in work, effort becomes grace. Toil becomes offering. Sweat becomes prayer. My God, you who blessed the fishermen's nets, who called simple men to leave their nets and follow you. Today you also call through work. Not all of us are called to leave everything, but all of us are called to live everything for you. The office worker who signs papers, the craftsman who carves wood, the scientist who silently investigates, the father who works for his son, the mother who works and cares. All are called to be saints in the midst of the world. Because holiness is not far away. It is not only found in convents. It is found at the desk, in the factory, in the classroom, on the battlefield of every day. To be holy is to work well, with patience, with truth, with compassion. I have seen people pray fervently in church on Sundays, and then lie at work on Mondays. And I have seen others who don't enter a church, but work with such honesty, so much love, so much dedication, that they pray without words, and their life is a hymn. You, Lord, value the heart. Not ritual without life, but life as ritual. Therefore, every day can be an act of worship. Every ethical decision, every gesture of kindness, every effort to do well, is an act of faith. I don't want to work out of fear, or out of boundless ambition. I want to work out of love. Love for you, who loved me first. Love for my neighbor, who lives off my efforts. Love for creation, which you entrusted to my hands. Because work is also caring. Caring for the earth. Caring for relationships. Caring for the truth. Not exploiting, but serving. Not ruining, but healing. Not competing with hatred, but collaborating with hope. In times of crisis, when work is scarce, when unemployment hurts, you call us to solidarity. Because work is not a privilege, it's a right. And you, who give the sun to all, want everyone to have the opportunity to serve, to create, to live. That's why, when I have work, I thank you. And when others don't, I pray for them. And if I can, I share, I help. I open doors, I reach out. Because work is a gift. And gifts multiply when they are shared. God of the universe, you who hold the stars, you also hold my weary hands. You who guide the galaxies, you also guide my decisions. Do not leave me alone on the journey. Be my companion in the silence of the workshop, my strength in the difficult meeting, my peace in the chaos of traffic, my light in the windowless office. May every call I receive be an opportunity to serve, not to sell. May every project I begin be a seed of your kingdom. May every mistake I make bring me closer to your mercy. May every achievement be a song of gratitude, not of boasting. For everything I am, everything I have, everything I do, comes from you. And it must all return to you. So, at the end of the day, when I close my eyes, I don't say, I did much. But, you did much in me. And I rest, not out of laziness, but out of faith. Because you taught me. That rest is also holy. That after creating comes repose. And in that repose, I find you closer. You remind me that it is not I who holds up the world, but you. And I am only an instrument, a tool in your hands. That's why I'll return tomorrow. Not out of obligation, but out of vocation. Because working with you is the closest thing to eternity I can touch in this life. And when the last day comes, I don't want them to say, he was a great businessman, or he was very successful. I want them to say, he was a man who worked with love, who served with humility, who honored God in every task. Because that's what I want to be. Not a winner, but a faithful one. Not a boss, but a servant. Not a rich man, but a blessed one. And if one day they ask me why I worked so hard, why I didn't rest more, why I didn't seek more pleasure, I will say, because I loved God. And to love God is to work for His kingdom, even if no one sees it. And if in heaven they ask me, what did you do with your time? I won't speak of titles or achievements, but of hands I touched, of hearts I sowed, of dreams I helped grow, of promises I kept, of hope I sowed. Because work, when it is prayer, doesn't end on earth. It goes to heaven. Like the Good Samaritan, like the faithful servant, like the grain of wheat that falls to the ground and dies, to bear much fruit. So, today, and every day, I lift my hands, not only to work, but to bless. I lift them as an offering, as a prayer, as a song, and I say, Lord, here I am. Use my hands. Use my life. Today, tomorrow, always. Work in me, with me, through me. Because my work is my prayer. And my prayer is my work. Amen.